Hey beautiful people, it's your boy Joshua Martin, and today I'm going to show you how to get high quality images for your social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, your website. Yeah, so let's jump right in. These two steps I'm going to show you in Lightroom and Photoshop should be fairly easy to understand. This should be incorporated in your export workflow. So let's jump right into Lightroom first. You want to right click and you want to go to export. And you can also find that here at the top where it says File and then Export, or the shortcut which is Shift Command E. So I'm going to go here to Export, and it brings up your export box. Now the thing that we want to kind of pay attention to is quality, resize fit, and the resolution. So my pretty much standard, and this is what I've learned over the years, 2000 pixels wide for this longest side. So if it's vertical, you know, the height of it's going to be 2000 pixels. If it's horizontal image, the width of it's going to be 2000 pixels. And then whatever it resizes the opposite side of it. So 2000 pixels is my sweet spot. That's what I like to use, especially for my website and for Instagram and things like that, because Instagram does compress it a bit more. But for me, this retains enough information so it can still look sharp, still kind of pop and things like that. So that's really what it is for me. So let's actually export this image and we can see the size of it, and then I'm gonna show you this image in Photoshop as well. And let's actually just jump into Photoshop. So I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to say edit in Photoshop, and then I'm going to click edit in Photoshop. So now we're here in Photoshop, and we're going to go up to File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. If this is your first time opening this setting, sometimes it will be under GIF or PNG. So don't freak out if you don't see my settings. You just go up here under preset, and then you just change the file format. And there you go. It's going to bring you back to JPEG. Now, like I said, like in Lightroom, you have quality. If these are checked off, I would just click on optimize, and then make sure your sRGB setting convert is on, just in case you are editing in something else. And then you want to kind of look down here and you see your height and width of your image. And the same principle applies to this. I normally put in 2000 pixels. And then before I hit enter, watch this number over here. So as soon as I hit enter, see how it compressed it? It's still a large file, so we're actually going to have to fix that. But it compressed it a lot, and you can still see this image is still pretty sharp. Still looks really good. So since this image is a large image, let's actually go up here to quality. The threshold before the images start to look really bad is around 80-85%. So I'm gonna go to 80, which is categorized as very high here. You can actually click these and click them as well, and it's still like 1 megabyte, 1.5 megabytes is still a lot to load on the web, because you want your images to load pretty fast. Let's change this. I wouldn't go any lower than 1500 pixels. And then now we're just under 1 megabyte. So if you use Squarespace like me, you know that 1500 pixels is what they recommend as the largest file you should upload so your image can load faster. And so this is pretty ideal. The reason why this image has so much information, I shot it underexposed a little bit. So I had to bring up some of that shadow, and I pumped in a little bit more life into it, so it's adding all that information. But most of the time, if you don't have like heavy edits, like 2000 pixels to 1500 pixels is going to be reasonable. And as long as this number is like right under 1 megabyte or so, you'll be fine. And then you just go to save as, and then let's just save this on the desktop test. And then let's go actually compare the sizes. I can't really explain it, but oftentimes you'll get slight differences between the two. Some images coming out of Photoshop, when you compress it, will be slightly smaller or slightly bigger versus Lightroom. So I really can't answer that. But regardless which one you use, you'll still have a very optimized image for the web that still retains its quality and small enough where it still uploads and things like that. The pros and cons of this process, either using Photoshop or Lightroom. Going with the cons in Photoshop, you can actually see the file size before you export it out, so you'll understand how big it is before, so you don't have to re-export everything again. You already see it beforehand. With Lightroom, you can't do that. It just has, you know, the resolution size, and you just have to batch it out. And then if it's small enough, perfect. If not, you have to re-export though. With Lightroom on the plus side, you can export a lot of images at the same time with that particular setting. I'm not aware if you can actually do a batch web safe export from Photoshop. If you can do that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be thrilled to actually learn how to do that. But aside from that, if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Comment below if there's any other questions on the technical side of things, and I hope you will apply this in your exporting process, exporting workflow. But until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces.